centers on the well-worn story of a contractor killer leading two separate lives. Emma Brackett, portrayed by Big Bang's Kali Kyoko, is a talented assassin who also happens to be a devoted mother and wife. 7 years ago, Emma fell in love with Dave. They eventually tied the knot and welcomed Carolyn into their family. Wyatt, the son of Dave's first marriage, had likewise come to terms with Emma being his mother. The foursome was nearly ideal, but Dave has been wondering if their marriage has lost its spark because of Emma's frequent business travels. Dave was in for a major surprise that he was unaware of. Emma felt incredibly guilty after she forgot her marriage anniversary. She knew she had to make up for it, and after taking a hint from Dave's anniversary present, she decided that they should role play. They planned to meet at the bar of a fancy hotel as two strangers. Changing appearances was not new for Emma, and with a brunette wig on, she was ready to spend quality time with her husband. Dave got stuck in traffic, and in the meantime, an elderly man approached Emma. He struck up a conversation with her, even though she showed no interest. Emma felt a little uncomfortable when he repeatedly questioned her about her job. She could sense things were about to get wild, as Bob constantly mentioned that her face looked exceptionally familiar. Bob's overenthusiastic approach after he joined Dave and Emma once again at the bar must have made Emma feel more confident about his ill intentions. The couple finally got some time alone after they managed to bid Bob goodbye. Dave was quite drunk when they returned to their room, and while he caught up on his sleep, Emma had business to take care of. She walked up to Bob's room, and as it turned out, Bob was an independent contract killer. He was in town for business, and he did not expect to come across a familiar face. Emma had a bounty to her name, and Bob recognized her. To be completely sure, he rechecked a picture of Emma, Anna, and it was a perfect match. The bounty was set by an association called the Sovereign, and they wanted Emma alive. Emma used to work for the Sovereign, and they were searching for her after she chose to go off-grid. Bob was ready to cut a deal with Emma as an alternative, and he demanded a 60% commission on her future assignments. He eventually agreed to come down to 40%, but it was still not within Emma's budget. She asked him to go ahead and make the call to Sovereign, though she was pretty confident that the poison in his system would make the task immensely difficult. Emma explained that she had poisoned Bob's drink while they were at the bar. The minute he had taken his eyes off his drink, she had poured her lethal powder into it. The only reason why Emma met Bob in his room was because she wanted to make sure that he did not make a call to Sovereign. Bob refused to give up, even though his body was collapsing. Before dying, he tried to shoot Emma, and it resulted in quite a mess. Emma managed to stop Bob, but the condition of the room attracted police attention the next morning. After returning home, Dave was surprised to learn that the man they met at the bar was murdered, and they were the primary suspects. Dave and Emma were seen talking to Bob, and it was captured on CCTV. Emma knew she had to escape before it was too late. She lied about another work meeting and ended up traveling to Berlin to meet her handler, Raj. Who was Emma? Dave waited for Emma to return home at the airport, but he was unable to locate her, and she did not answer his calls. Dave was soon taken to the police station to be questioned. Being the main suspects in the recent hotel murder case made him anxious, therefore he made an effort to show his innocence in the most sincere way possible. He was surprised to learn, though, that the investigators were making a different suggestion. To address Emma's case, Special Agent Gwen Carver attended the meeting. When Dave found out that his wife was not Emma Rayburn, he was taken aback. She had stolen the identity of a deceased woman by that name, and for the last 7 years, she had been living a false life. Dave was shown pictures of his wife arriving at Buenos Aires airport last week. Dave realized that Emma had lied to him about the meeting at Nebraska. Dave learned the true identity of the man he met at the hotel bar, a contract killer named Derek Worley. He was shocked to learn that Raj was not his wife's supervisor, but her dealer, who operated on the dark web. Dave learned that Emma was a wanted criminal and that her true identity was Anna Peller. At first, Dave thought it was all a big joke, but he quickly realized that everyone in the room was taking the topic extremely seriously. Dave went home to find a secret bag stocked with bogus passports, wigs, and firearms. Though he trusted his wife, the truth was beginning to set in. He wanted to talk to the woman he married before making any decisions, since he knew she was the one he loved. Dave resisted the police's attempts to convert him to their way of thinking. He ended up dialing every number he found in the several visiting cards she had kept hidden, and surprisingly, one connected. Emma received the call, and he figured out that she was in Berlin. He wanted to discuss the matter in person, and his only option was to travel to Berlin. Meanwhile, Sovereign made it difficult for Anna to escape. They followed her wherever she went, and her handler died in a shootout. Emma was alone, and all she wanted was to return home to her loving family. Who are Gwen Carver and the Sovereign? Emma, Anna, and Dave finally reunited at a bar in Berlin in role play. Emma was ready to come clean about her past, and Dave was all ears. She admitted that her real name was Anna, and she was trained to become a killer. Her father was a Secret Service agent, but he retired early and started his business. Sovereign was the private security company that he started with intelligence agent Gwen Carver, the same woman Dave was introduced to back home. Carver took Anna under her wing when her father died. She was introduced to violence at a young age, and she was trained to kill. During her impressionable years, she believed every word Gwen said and was convinced that she was eradicating evil by killing the bad guys, but as she grew up, she realized it was all a lie. Anna met Dave during a job in Boston, and for the first time, she felt seen. From that day on, all she wanted was a normal life, and she decided to only take jobs once or twice a year to pay for the protection of her family. Even though every detail she had said about herself was a lie, she wanted Dave to believe that her feelings for him were genuine. She escaped to Berlin to get Canadian passports so her family could start their lives afresh. Emma decided that she would no longer work as a contract killer as soon as she safely escaped the threat of Sovereign. Even after finding out everything about his wife, Dave loved her and wanted to be with her. As Emma and Dave had an honest conversation, members of the Sovereign surrounded them and eventually drugged them and brought them to Gwen Carver. What happened to Emma and her family? Emma eventually learned that Gwen had abducted not just her and Dave, but also her kids. Gwen was itching for Emma to return to Sovereign. Emma's choice of life, in her opinion, was too normal to ever be to her liking. Since Gwen was the one who took care of Anna, Gwen felt that Anna owed her life. Gwen offered Anna the chance to rejoin Sovereign once more, on the condition that she never hurt her kids. The kids would eventually live exactly like Anna did, of course. Dave was the sole issue in the whole situation. Dave was merely a threat to Gwen, and she had no need for him. Anna was given the order to kill Dave or risk losing her children. Dave was presented before Anna, and as the two walked into the woods together, a sniper kept a close watch. Anna had a plan in mind, and at the end of role play, she shot Dave. He collapsed on the ground, and a Sovereign member came in to check his status. As the woman packed Dave's body, Emma attacked her precisely when the sniper no longer had access to them. After Emma killed the threat, we found out that Dave was still alive. She shot him where it would cause the least damage, and he would survive. Emma eventually got the sniper as well, and she was ready to destroy Gwen. The film ends with a fight sequence between Emma and Gwen's right hand, Jai, and after quite a struggle, Emma triumphed. The action drama ends with a peek-a-boo between Gwen and Emma. The student was now better than her mentor, and she attacked Gwen when she least expected it. As Gwen bled to death, Emma walked away from her to find her family. Emma proved that she would give her life if needed to protect her family. As unglamorous as her life seemed, she was happy being Emma and not Anna. After spending a couple of uncertain days, she was relieved to see her children alive and well. They returned to being a typical family after escaping the Sovereign camp. We expect them to move to Canada since that was Emma's safest bet. The conclusion of role play implies that Sovereign is coming to an end, but you never know when someone might take revenge. One Gwen worshipper, for example. We might get a whole narrative that would explain why the man in the playhouse pursued Emma if he was still alive. However, in the interim, Emma and Dave will be able to lead normal lives together, and who knows, perhaps Emma will eventually decide to make a career change.